Are you thinking about starting a golf tournament? Or how about you've been doing your tournament for years and it's getting stale? Or maybe you're thinking about, I want to take this thing to the next level and raise a lot more money. Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Immordino with the Golf Tournament Association of America. For over 30 years, we've had the opportunity to work with thousands of tournament planners around the world. And we have one simple mission, and that is to help you produce the best golf tournament possible. So today we are doing a webinar, part of a monthly webinar series that we try to go in depth to help you with ideas and thoughts that will take your tournament to the next level. Today's topic is how to produce a successful golf tournament. We're going to cover all types of things. We're going to cover everything you need to know about producing a golf tournament. We're going to go through 18 steps of producing a golf tournament. We're going to cover how to create a business plan. We're going to talk about volunteers and how to recruit them and how to motivate them. We're also going to discuss the golf course. How do you find the best deal and the best golf course? We're also going to talk about how to sell major sponsors and make the most amount of profit possible. Also, filling your field with golfers, getting that 144 that you need, as well as gifts and prizes, talk about the award ceremony, and so much more. So let's get started. Take some notes, although this call will be recorded, and we will send you the link after the session so that you can share it with your friends or just review with notes, or possibly you might have to leave early. So let's dig in. Step number one, developing your business plan. This is the first step in putting together a golf tournament, because your tournament is actually like a little business, and every business needs a business plan. And that business plan has many aspects to it, but it's important that we're all on the same page and you have this in writing to really maximize the profits of your business and produce the best business possible. So the first step in creating that business plan is to define that purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you trying to put together a golf tournament? What is the mission of your golf tournament? So there's many reasons to put on a golf tournament, and none of them are right or wrong, but people are absolutely have different reasons why they want to put on a golf tournament. So you got to determine what is your main objective or your main purpose in putting together a golf tournament. Is it fundraising? Are you trying to raise money for your organization? It's absolutely a very popular reason people put on a golf tournament. Number two, are you trying to entertain? Maybe you're entertaining clients or entertaining donors, or just trying to really increase your membership. Is it a competition? Are you looking to make it a serious competition where it's important to know who the winner is? Are you also maybe just thinking about networking, just bringing your people together, bringing your sponsors, bringing your vendors, bringing your members together where they can all get to know each other a lot better? So that's the first step in putting together a business plan. The second step in putting together a business plan is to set your goals. What are you trying to achieve in every aspect? Are you trying to raise the most amount of money? If so, how much? Are you trying to maximize the participant and golfers? Are you trying to get more people involved, more sponsors? So set some specific goals. And then in this business plan, have a timeline, some action items. What do you need to do 6 months out, 3 months out, 1 month out? We're going to obviously go through that timeline here today in today's session. But it's important that you have a detailed timeline and action item for your business plan. So once you have your business plan together, now you have the foundation. I think it's important that we share that business plan with everybody involved. Your committee needs to know, what your plan is, your sponsors, your golfers. Everyone needs to know exactly what you're trying to achieve so they can buy in, they can get on board and work with you on that. Okay, the next step in putting together a golf tournament is staffing your event, putting your volunteer committee together. Now, let me make it really clear. Your committee is the secret to your success. The bigger, better your committee, the better your event's going to be, pure and simple. So it's important that we really focus on this volunteer committee and get the right people doing the right thing. So step one is to recruit the right types of people. Make sure that the people that you recruit are committed. They're excited about what you're trying to do and their cause, and they do what they're going to say. The next thing is they need to have relationships and contacts. It's so important in the golf tournament world to have relationships with other golfers, other potential sponsors, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So make sure you recruit the right types of people. Don't try to do this tournament by yourself or one or two people. Make sure that you have a full committee. And I think it should be between 9 and 12 people. Then the second step is to staff with responsibilities your committee. Sometimes, and most of the time, I see folks that just everyone does everything and it gets a little bit unorganized. So it's important that you give everyone a title, a role, a responsibility. When you assign specific responsibilities, everyone's going to be more productive and they take ownership in your event. So assign these different roles to be most effective with your volunteer committee. Number one, you need a chairman, someone who's going to oversee everything. They're the king, the president, the general manager of your event. Two, you need a sponsorship chairman, someone who's going to oversee all the sponsorship. Now, everyone sells sponsors, but this person definitely oversees it. Then you need a golfer chairman to ensure that you're sold out, that focuses on just golfers. You need a gift and prize chairman, someone who's going to really focus on making sure you get the right gifts and prizes. You need an auction chairman. In fact, I like an auction committee, a separate committee that just works, on the auction. Ideally, you have an operations chairman, someone who oversees all of the details. And then finally, a PR marketing chairman, someone who's going to make sure that that you are getting all the exposure that you can, not just for the tournament, but for your organization and your sponsors. So make sure that you have a full committee. You assign these responsibilities so that they're productive, they take ownership in your event, and every area of your event is being looked after carefully by somebody, one individual. And then finally, with your committee, we need to motivate them. We need to get them excited. We need to have them produce above and beyond what they normally would. Volunteers typically just do what they have to do to get by, and we want to make sure that they are maximizing their efforts. So the first step in that is training them properly. Train your volunteers properly. Make sure they know exactly what they're doing, how to do it, and give them the tools to be productive. Next, I think we need to give them incentives. Give them some type of incentive to reach their goals. Maybe it's a gift certificate, maybe it's a prize, something that gets them motivated to reach their goals. Again, they're going to work hard, but they're going to work much harder if they know that there's a little prize at the end of the day, and based on their productivity. And then finally, we need to hold them accountable. So many times we're afraid to hold volunteers accountable because, they're volunteers. They may walk away. They may not do very much. So it's important that we hold them accountable by putting their job responsibilities in writing. Number one, train them, obviously. And then three, give them a call once a week. Ask for a report. Let them know, let us know how their progress is coming along. And if you do that, they're going to work a little bit harder because they know they want to give you a report that looks successful. So hold them accountable, train them properly, but motivate them by giving them little incentives and a lot of thank yous and a lot of attaboys, and you'll have a much more successful committee. But the committee is really the key to your success. So the next step in producing a successful golf tournament is creating a timeline. The biggest mistake I see with most tournaments in this country is they do not give themselves enough time to produce an event. They do it in 2 months. They do it last minute. It's so important that you have a full year properly to do this event, at minimum 6 months. But there's some things you need to do a year in advance because there's so much competition these days. So I think it's important that we secure a golf course and a date as far in advance as you can. But most importantly, I think it's important that you get the committee working on it all year round. They'll be thinking about it all year round. They'll be more productive, and you give them a lot more time to do their job. And then also, we need to start talking to sponsors. See, most of the time we reach those sponsors at the last minute, and they don't have it in their budget to help you out. But if you reach sponsors 6 months in advance, they'll put it in their budget. And we're going to talk about how to get the big money in a second, but make sure that you reach those sponsors early. So a year out, start doing some stuff. 6 months, really get after it. Start making committee meetings and getting reports and lining up items. Start the save the date process. Then you want to start doing your marketing a couple of months out, promotion, recruiting those golfers, getting those deposits, getting that sponsor money, getting all the gifts and prizes. But if you have a detailed timeline and everyone on the committee has a copy, that they're going to stick to it. They're all going to work hard and make sure that you reach your goals. So then that step number 3 is the timeline. The next step, number 4, is establishing your budget. So many tournaments fail in producing any type of income, mainly because they don't have a specific detailed budget. It's so important to have that budget that you stick to. A budget's going to include, all the income items. It's going to include the sponsorships and the golfer fees and the raffle and auction and games and contests and donations. The expenses, obviously, are going to be the golf course, food and beverage, trophies, hole-in-one insurance, that type of thing. But it's important that you have a detailed budget and try to stick to that, because the biggest mistake I see is that promoters or tournament planners will overcommit to the golf course, and they'll commit to 144 golfers and only have 50. Overcommit on food, overcommit on merchandise, and that'll put you in the hole. The other problem that I see is trading. They'll go and trade for golfing spots and then end up spending the money for those golfing spots. So it's not really a trade. So you got to be really careful when you're starting doing the trading and making commitments to the golf course. But have a detailed budget. Try not to spend more than you bring in, and you'll make some money based on that budget. So that's the next step. Next step after that is number 5, finding the best golf course. The golf course is key. Have you ever noticed what is the first thing that people ask when you're planning a golf tournament? Where is it? Why? Because a golf course is important. And we've learned that it's very important when it comes to the decision-making of a golfer. They don't want to play in a dumpy golf course. They don't want to play in a place that they play all the time. The golf course is very important. So I found that they'll pay you more if you give them a better place to play. They want something unique. They want something different. So find out in your community what's maybe a private country club, maybe a resort course, something that's maybe higher end that they don't normally get to play, and they'll get excited to play that. Because as golfers, what we're looking for is a quality golf course. We're looking for great food, great customer service, in a location that's not too far. We'll drive an hour to the golf course, but make sure that the golf course is something worth playing at. And now the question is, how do you get the best deal? Because so many times golf courses, especially in prime season, are charging way too much, and we're trying to make money with our golf tournament. So it's important that we try to get the best deal. And there's several ways to do that. I think one that's underrated is relationships. If you have someone who either works at the golf course or owns the golf course or in management that you have a relationship with, or someone on your committee, then you can get a good deal, sometimes a better rate than normal. That's one way. Another way is to do a buyout. I found this to be very popular. If you go to a golf course and you say, we want to buy out the golf course for the whole afternoon or the whole morning, afternoons are a little bit easier, during the week, they'll sometimes come up with a price, and that price makes sure that they're going to make money. But if you bring out more golfers, you're going to get a better deal. So think about and ask the golf course, what would it take to buy out the golf course for the day or the half day? The other way to do that is the other way to get a good deal is to look at the off season. Look at the shoulder season. When is the weather maybe not perfect? When it's perfect weather, obviously they're going to charge more. So if you look, maybe it's a little rainy or a little colder, then you're going to get a better deal. Another way to look at it is Monday through Thursday in the afternoon. If you go Saturday, Sunday, prime time, you're going to pay prime rates. But if you look in the afternoons, Monday through Thursday, you're going to get a better deal. So take a serious look at the golf course. Don't just take an average golf course. Golfers will pay you more if you give them a better place to play. So get the best golf course possible. All right, step number 6 is choosing the right tournament format. So many times we take for granted the format. It's usually a shotgun scramble, and there's nothing wrong with a shotgun scramble, but there are problems for certain golfers with a shotgun. So first of all, you got to determine what is the purpose, for your golf tournament. If you're just doing a fundraiser and who cares what the format is? A shotgun scramble works fine. But if you're doing something a little bit more serious, if you got maybe a competition going, serious golfers do not like scrambles. They like more best balls or individual competitions. So format's very important. There's so many different formats to look at. We have a book with over 400 games and contests and formats that shows them all. And it's amazing how many different ones there are out there. But the right format will increase your participation, and the wrong one will hurt your participation. At the same time, the right format can increase your revenue, and the wrong format can hurt your revenue. So take a very, very close look at the format when it comes to revenue. There's a lot of ways to make bigger money than a shotgun scramble. People think that's the best moneymaker, but it really isn't. There's a lot of formats that make a lot more money than a shotgun scramble. For example, a pro-am, where you put a pro in every foursome. You can double, triple your registration fees if you do a pro-am. Same concept as a celebrity am. Celebrity am is really a fun way to do it, where you put a celebrity in every foursome and charge more to play in it. Another format that makes a lot of money, $50,000 to $100,000 format, is a golf-a-thon or a golf marathon, where you get 40 golfers to raise pledges and play 100 holes of golf in one day. This raises a lot of money, and we have a special manual just on that. Maybe night golf. Night golf's a fun way to raise money. This is 9 holes played in the dark with glowing golf balls, and it's a lot of fun because you basically are inviting anybody who wants to play. They don't have to be good golfers, and so kind of turns it into a big party. But there are many, many different formats out there. So take a serious moment to analyze the format that you're using. If you have better golfers, think about a best ball. If you have less caliber golfers that don't play as often, then a scramble works just great. But think about that, because it's going to depend on your participation and your revenue. Okay, the next step is selling sponsors. Once you got the foundation set, once you've got the date, the location, now it's important to sell sponsors. The problem with most charity events that I see in this country is they're not really selling sponsorship. They're selling a donation. And a donation is it simply a whole sign, or give us $500 to participate, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not where the big money comes in. If you're wondering how the organizations that produce big events with big dollars and are raising 100, 200, 300, $500,000, it's all because of the sponsorship, because sponsorships are your profit. So make sure that you're selling sponsorship correctly. And how do you do that? There's nothing wrong with a one-day event and 140 players, but let me just tell you, sponsors don't get excited about reaching 144 golfers, especially with just a hole sign or a name on the banner or the name on their brochure or website. That's just not enough exposure. So remembering that sponsors are your profit, your goal is to make big money. And you do that 3 different ways. Number 1, you find out what your demographics are. See, we need to know who's golfing in your event, number 1. But number 2, who are you promoting your golf tournament to? Maybe it's a specific industry. Your sponsors are looking for buyers. Okay, so if they know who you're reaching through your marketing efforts, you're going to get more attention, and you're going to be able to sell bigger sponsors because they want a return on investment. So if you show sponsors how they can get business out of your tournament, you'll make more money through sponsorship. If it's a one-day event with 144 golfers, you're not going to get as much. But if you turn your golf tournament into a marketing tool, 2 months of promotion before, a month of promotion after, then you are going to get their attention. And if you're reaching thousands of people, now you're going to get the big money. So very important, understand your demographics, put together sponsorship packages that are effective. You know, the typical sponsorship package says a foursome, a whole sign, and then a mention at the awards ceremony. That's, you know, worth $250. Great. But if you want thousands of dollars, $5, $10, $15,000, you've got to show those sponsors how they're going to get business, display tables, maybe special offers to your database, maybe newsletters, maybe mentioned in the media announcements. But there's all kinds of ways to show these sponsors how they're going to get additional exposure and business from your golf tournament. And then thirdly, make sure you're going after the right people. You can have a great event and great marketing, but if you do not have a connection with those potential sponsors, they're not going to give you the money. There's a lot better ways to advertise than your golf tournament. So it's important that you think about who you're going after. The people I like to go after are people that I've already spent money with. You know, my accounts payable, my vendors. If you go to people that your organization spends money with, your vendors, your suppliers, then they're going to give back, not only give back to your organization, but be excited to do that. So analyze with your committee, who do they know? Who do they work for? What vendors and suppliers do they use? And those are the best people to go after. So you're going to sell big sponsors and make big money if you make sure you understand your demographics, turn your event into a marketing tool, several months, make sure those packages offer items of return, and make sure you're going after the right people. When you do that, you'll sell some big sponsors. All right. The next step is your promotion and marketing. You know, so many people are not taking a serious look at promotion and marketing. They send out a brochure and they do a blast email, and that's all good, but you need to really maximize that. Not just, excuse me, because of getting golfers. That's not the purpose of promotion and marketing. The purpose of promotion and marketing is to make sure that your organization is getting all of the exposure that it can be and gives credibility to your event and your organization. So make sure that you are promoting effectively. And when I like promotion is try to target market, try to make sure that I'm focusing on a specific group or industry, that I'm reaching certain people. Why is that important? Mainly because your sponsors want to know, who is your marketing and advertising reaching? And if they're reaching a certain amount of people and certain types of people, they're going to get more excited about that. Plus, it makes the golfers feel good. If they're signed up for your event and they see you advertising, they're gonna get excited about participating because they know your event's credible, they know your organization is solid, and they feel good about participating and giving money back. And I love social media. Social media is phenomenal, mainly because it's free, but it reaches a whole bunch of people. And it's important that if you're reaching a whole lot of people, you never know who is going to be seeing that. For example, I saw a tournament promoted on Facebook, and it reached somebody across the country, and they felt touched and just felt led to give an additional $25,000 out of the blue because of the cause. So it's important that you maximize that effort through social media. But some of the promotion that I like to see is, you know, sign your group up early and get a discount. Give them a sign-up deadline and offer them a special price, or maybe give them a box of golf balls if they pre-register. That's a fun promotion. Also, a multi-discount promotion. I do not like selling individual golfers. Way too much work, way too much logistics. I like to see foursomes. I don't even have a price for an individual. I have a discount for 2 foursomes, a bigger discount for 3 foursomes. So have companies putting teams together, and you'll be a lot more effective. So promotion and marketing is so important, but target market your efforts, take advantage of social media, and make sure you got some special promotion going on that's effective. All right. The next step is going to be recruiting golfers. Step number 9 is filling your field with golfers. That's so important. If you realize that most golf tournaments in this country are only half sold out, they're only reaching half of their potential. So it's very, very important that you learn how to sell out your tournament. It's not difficult if you have a quality event. Okay, let me tell you what makes a quality event. Great golf course, great food, great goodie bag, lots of prizes, a networking opportunity. See, if golfers, we want all of that. We don't want another boring golf tournament. We want something that has value. So I would undersell and over deliver. Keep your registration fees low, and then make sure that you're offering a whole lot of stuff to these golfers so they feel like they're getting value. Give them more than they pay for. Don't overcharge just because of the charity. See, think about this just for a second. A golfer doesn't have to participate in your golf tournament to believe in your charity. If they believe in your charity, they can very simply just give money. But if they like the golf tournament, then they're going to not only participate, but hopefully give you more money out of the event. So how do you fill your field with golfers? Give them a great golf tournament, number one. Number two, it's all about relationships. The number one reason a golfer participates in a golf tournament is because their buddy asks them. So make sure that you have a great committee, well connected. I love to see the 9-4-4 rule. It's real simple. 9 people on your committee recruiting 4 foursomes. If you do that, you're going to be sold out year after year. So make sure that you have the right people on your committee who are well connected, and they're going to recruit and sell out your tournament. Now the question is, how do you get them back year after year? You know, you're already sold out. You've got this great event. Make sure they have a phenomenal time. Make sure that you personally touch every single one of them, which is hard, but important. Give everybody some type of great gifts and prizes. Maybe you do a promotion. If they sign up now for next year or pre-register, you're going to give them something special, maybe a special price or a sleeve of golf balls, but get them connected, involved with your organization, communicate with them throughout the year, and make sure they have a great event, and then they're pre-registered for next year. That's how you sell out a tournament. That's how you get them coming back year after year. All right, the next step is gifts and prizes. Very, very important. Your event, your organization is going to be judged by the gifts and prizes that you give out. And if you give out a bunch of junk, that's how you're going to be perceived. So you got to give out some cool stuff. All right, there's a lot of prizes you give out. You give out a goodie bag, you give out the winner's prizes, games and contests, raffle items, auction items. You give out all types of giveaways. But the important thing is that you give out quality stuff. The most important thing you're going to give out is that goodie bag. That goodie bag has so much power. See, the goodie bag is the first impression of your event and your organization. So if you give out a killer goodie bag, they're going to remember you. They're going to feel like they get value out of your organization, you and your event. So make sure that goodie bag has some value, maybe a shirt and hat and ball and gloves and that type of thing. And if you do that, they're going to be excited right off the get-go. They're going to say this is a quality event just based on the gifts and prizes. Obviously, you want a lot of great raffle items, but don't get in the trap of spending an hour giving away raffle items. If you get too many raffle items, do the drawing in advance because it'll take forever and we go crazy listening to you rattle off a bunch of numbers. The auction we're going to get into, but make sure that you get some really great, good auction items. But these are the gifts and prizes that you need to focus on, make sure they're worthwhile, make sure they're quality. But the big question comes, you say, Phil, well, we can't afford all this stuff. Well, you can't afford not to. So let me tell you how to get it all paid for. The best way to give out good quality items is simply this concept. Put the price of the item in a sponsorship package, pure and simple. For example, let's say that you want quality golf shirts. Well, you can get a quality golf shirt for 20 bucks and you got 100 golfers. That's $2,000 for shirts. Put that $2,000 in the title sponsorship package. So maybe it was the title sponsorship was 5,000, make it 7,000, but the title sponsor gets their logo on the shirt. Boom, they just paid you 7,000, paid for the shirts, and you give away quality golf shirts. So make sure that you give out some great items in that goodie bag and get the sponsors to pay for it, but build the price into the sponsorship package. So gifts and prizes are important. You're going to be judged. They're going to remember you by that goodie bag. So make sure it's a good one. All right, next step. Whole step number 11, the games and contests. You know, there's controversy on how many games and contests. Which one should we have? There's a million of them out there. Like I told you, I have a book with 400. So which ones do you have? Well, analyze, first of all, what is the purpose of your event? If it's a serious competition, less games and contests. If it's more of a fundraiser, more games and contests. So really determine how many you want, because if you have too many, it can drag down the event. But if they're fun games and contests, then people, you know, really enjoy them and you can make some money. But I want to encourage you to not nickel and dime your people. If you're asking for $10 on this hole, $20 on that hole, $50 on the next hole, you'll drive us crazy, because we just don't bring out that much cash. So what I like to do is sell a super ticket. Sell one ticket at registration for 50 bucks, and that includes all the games and contests. But there's some fun ones out there. Obviously, you got the old-fashioned ones, the long drive and the close to the pin. These are great, and it gives people a chance to win a prize, which is important. But your goal is to give out as many prizes as possible. So have as many winners as possible. I suggest first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, last, second to last, lots of close to the pin, lots of long drive, men, women, seniors, juniors, but give everyone a chance to win something, because the more gifts and prizes you give out, the more winners you have, the more winners you have, the more people you have coming back year after year. So very, very important. The other thing to remember is that there's some fun money-making game, because you can make a lot of money, you know, with these games and contests if you do that right. And there's some fun new games out there that make a ton of money. There's Pay the Pro, where you bring out a long drive champion to hit the ball for you. You can Beat the Pro, where you bet the pro to beat them on that particular hole. There's the Cannon Gun, where you pay the cannon guy to shoot, or you can shoot the cannon gun ball all the way to the green. I found a new one last week called the Drone Drop, where you actually pay to drop the drone. The drone drops the ball next to the pin. We did that, and we had a 2-foot putt for eagle. It was great. So there's many money-making games that you need to consider and take a look at to really take your revenue to the next level. But make sure you decide what your purpose is, because too many games and contests can drag things on and take too much time. All right, next step is going to be auctions. Step number 12 is auctions. You know, auctions go great with golf tournaments, because it gives golfers a chance to shop and buy items that they normally wouldn't. So I love auctions with golf tournaments. The problem is most people don't do them right. And if you want to make big money, do them right. And it's very simple. What I like to see is a separate committee who just focuses on the auction. Maybe 3 or 4 people, that's all they focus on, because it's worth it. You know, it can make big money with people focusing on it. Number 2, get big items, not just a bunch of gift baskets and cans of tennis balls, but big items, items that people get excited to spend big money on. Trips and autographed memorabilia and things that they normally wouldn't buy at Walmart. I mean, you can buy anything at Walmart. You can buy anything online, but if you put together things that they cannot buy online, you'll make more money. For example, lunch with a famous athlete, a dinner with a celebrity. If you can put those packages together, you'll make big money, more than you normally would, not just typical autographed football. But here's the key, gang. Set up a page on your website and promote the auction in advance to everybody, not just your 100 golfers. If you limit your auction to your 100 golfers, you've got a small buying base. But if you promote your auction to your whole database, maybe you got 5,000, 10,000 emails, they all have the opportunity to bid, and start the bidding early. This is very, very important, because if you only limit it to the 100 people at your golf tournament, you only have 2 hours to bid on it after the golf tournament, you're going to limit your income. But if you spend 2 months promoting big items in advance to 10,000 people, guess what? It's going to drive those prices up. And then you have your grand finale at the auction, and that always is a hit. And it's fun, especially if you have those big items and people are anxious to go. And you may get people coming to the award ceremony that maybe didn't play at the golf tournament, which we're going to talk about in the award ceremony. So put together a big auction, get really great big experiences that people can't buy at Walmart, promote it in advance online, put together a website, and then the icing on the cake, have a really great auctioneer. Wait till people have had a few drinks and he can or she can really bump those prices up a lot higher. So make sure that you have a great auctioneer. It doesn't have to be paid one, but someone who knows how to bump up those prices on those bigger items. Have some silent table items in the back. That's always fun, but you can make big, big money on an auction if you do it right. All right, step number 13, signs and banners. You know, sometimes we take these signs and banners for granted. You've seen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen the golf tournament, the typical golf tournament with the typical signs. They're a little 2x3 plastic sign on a wire stick. And that's a sponsor sign. And people really don't even notice them. They're so small and it's kind of hokey. But everyone does it because they're cheap, okay? But if you want to make your tournament look cheap, then go with the little plastic signs. But if you want to take your golf tournament to the next level and make it look like a big deal, then simply use signs and banners. That makes your event look bigger than it necessarily is. Big banners all over the place, flags, flying flags. There's so many great ways to promote your sponsors than just on a little plastic sign on a tee box that no one ever looks at. So make those big, huge banners, put them on the tee box behind the greens, put some flags on the driving range, the putting greens, have a big billboard as they're driving into the golf course. Make signs and banners big. It's not that expensive. Many cases, the sponsors have their own. They can bring them out, but it makes your event look a lot bigger. Than it really is. But there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. I don't know if you've seen these, but they have posters that you can put literally on the cart path, little billboards. It's a thing called a bunker stamp, where you put a sponsor's logo on a stamp that stamps the sand bunkers. There's you've seen the painted fairways or the painted field of a football field when they have football games. You can do the same thing in a fairway with sponsor logos painted in the fairway of the golf course. So some fun stuff out there that you can really do that's unique and different, but most importantly, it makes your event look bigger than it really is. All right, next step, photos and videos. Let me tell you, photos and videos are so important, and especially in this video crazy world. You can maximize your exposure of your organization, your event, with lots of videos and photos. Okay, so here's some of the ways to do that. You really encourage team and individual photos that you sell back or give back to your golfers. I have 2 or 3 of them setting up in my office, and I should have brought you a copy, and I will next time. But these are cool things, and let me tell you, I think about that tournament every day, because it's a picture of me and my buddies sitting on my desk or my bookshelf. So hand out these team photos, individual photos. We love to look at ourselves. I hate to say it, but they're a great marketing tool for you, because it's reminding them of your tournament every day throughout the year. Maybe put it on a plaque that they can put on your wall. Videos are so important. Take a video of the day, edit it, make a killer promotional video of your tournament for your website, for the organization that you can promote social media wise. You can even put it on sponsors' websites, and people will be attracted to the website of that sponsor, giving them more exposure. So use videos and photos as a promotional tool, as a marketing tool to help golfers remember your event, to get exposure to websites for your sponsors, and just an all-around great way to promote your organization. All right, next step is the day of operations, number 15. This is so important because the devil is in the details. You can have the biggest event ever, but if you're not organized, you're going to lose people. People are going to get frustrated if everything is not set up to a T perfectly. So you have to be behind the scenes, very organized. So many things you've got to remember. Volunteer responsibilities and games and contests set up, and the award ceremony and gifts and prizes, and it's a lot of details. But I recommend, one, you put together a manual just for that day, a day of operations manual that'll help you with every step and not to forget anything. It's a checklist of everything you need. It's a schedule to every minute of that day. I like to do a walkthrough a week in advance with my volunteer committee. Uh, get everyone out there at the golf course, walk through the process, make sure everyone knows their role assignments, who's doing what, but make sure that everyone has this checklist, this action item, this manual that helps them through the day. You'll be much more organized. I even like to get the volunteer committees there early so that you are there, organized, that everything's fresh on their memory and they're totally prepared for that day. Because if you screw up one little thing that day, the word gets out. Remember, bad news travels a lot faster than good news. So make sure that you have a detailed, well-organized day of the event. All right, next step is the awards ceremony. Very, very important. Many of us kind of do the awards ceremony as an afterthought. We'll give out a few prizes, we'll serve some food, and then let everyone go. Now, I agree that everyone's tired. It's been a long day, but I really believe that we get a second wind if it's worth it. So I like to suggest that you consider turning your awards ceremony into a party. Make it fun, make it exciting, make it a reason for people to say, that half your people are going to leave. But if you give them a reason to stay, they will stay. So turn your event into a party, have some entertainment, have a band, have a comedian, have something, a dance floor, but make it a party. And this, number one, gives golfers reasons to stay. But here's more importantly, you can invite additional people. You can invite spouses, maybe the people, part of your organization that weren't golfers that want to come to a party. You can sell tickets to that event and you get a bigger crowd, more people buying raffle tickets, more people bidding on the auction, but it just turns it into a fun party, gives people a reason to stay, and you make more money. So why wouldn't you want a killer award ceremony? And remember, this is the last impression that you're giving your golfers and your sponsors. Very, very important that they have a good light of that day in remembrance of you and your organization at that award ceremony. So make it fun, make it first class, make it inviting. But I think the most important part of that award ceremony is the appeal. Now, this obviously is for fundraisers, but we miss the boat if we're not asking for more money. I know they've paid for the golf tournament. I know they've bought raffle tickets, but you never know who's in that crowd of your participants. So I really encourage you to do a short 5-minute, 10-minute presentation of your organization. What are you doing? Who are you benefiting? Where's the money going? Show maybe a short video, but ask for additional funds, not in a high pressure way. Leave an envelope at the table, and you never know who's going to be touched by your organization. There may be someone in that crowd that says, hey, I got an extra 10, 5, 10, 15,000 I want to give because I like what these people are doing. So take advantage of that during the awards presentation. Do not miss that boat. All right, next step is the tournament evaluation. We're so tired after our tournament, we just really want to forget about it for a week, and it's fine. But no more than a week or two later, get back together and evaluate what you've done. Take a look at every aspect. It's fresh on your memory. Remember everything you can about the golf course and about the gifts and prizes. Maybe do a survey to the golfers. What do they think? What do they like? What do they not like? What can you do better next year? Find out exactly how you can improve, because if you're going to do it again next year, you want to make it bigger and better. And the only way you do that is to analyze what you've done. Now, we have a complete tournament evaluation. If you want that, I can get that to you, but ask every question. Did the games and contests go smooth? Did the sponsors get their exposure? Did the golfers get their value? So find out exactly. Maybe you meet at the golf course. Pull your committee back together, meet at the golf course, and most likely will buy you lunch because they want your business for next year. And then you can evaluate every single step and aspect of your golf tournament so that you can be better prepared for next year to make it bigger and better. So do a tournament evaluation. We call it a tournament diagnostic. All right, final step, hole number 18, step number 18 is the follow-up. A big missed opportunity for a lot of tournament planners. They forget to follow up. It's so important. If you forget about your golfers and you forget about your sponsors, you got to start all over next year. But why start all over? I mean, you've got a great event. You've got great golfers. You've got great sponsors. They had a great time. And, so follow up with them, stay in touch, communicate with them on a regular basis. I would send a gift to every sponsor, a thank you gift. I would send a special 2-for-1 certificate to every golfer for golf. which you can probably get from the golf course. I would definitely send everyone a thank you letter, but I would also think about starting a monthly newsletter based on your tournament. Tell them every month what's going on, how much money did you raise, and where did the money go, and who are you helping, and what are you doing for next year. But stay in touch. There's an old saying, out of sight, out of mind. And if they forget about you and your tournament and your organization, they may not participate next year. So make sure that you stay in touch with them. Get back to your sponsors early, sit down with them, see if they were happy, rebook them for next year. Do a pre-sign up special for your golfers. If they sign up now, they get a sleeve of golf balls and a special price. They're not going to pay you this far in advance, but they may give you, a $10 deposit, get you all, get them signed up early. So stay in touch with your people month after month, out of sight, out of mind. Do a newsletter, get creative, and stay communicating with everybody involved with your event. So those are the basic 18 steps. Before I finish, before I wrap up, I just want to tell you about our certification program. If you love doing tournaments, and maybe you do it for your company or your golf course or for your nonprofit, you may want to think about becoming a certified tournament planner. And now what this is simply an in-depth program that gives you all the knowledge to be a first-class tournament planner. This doesn't mean you're doing tournaments for a living for other organizations. This means you're doing it the best you can do for your organization. This gives you credibility. It gives you additional knowledge. It gives you the certification that you are good at what you do. We list you on our website. We help you out throughout the year with any questions that you may have. And it's a real simple process. You just read our manual, you watch our 18 videos, which is similar to what you're watching today, but more in depth. You take a test, it's 100 questions, you get certified. So we got a special going on, almost half price. So think about that. If you, I'll send you a follow-up email about that information, but you may want to consider that. So let me just wrap up by saying this, gang. If you've done a tournament, you probably did a great job, but let's think about doing it better. Let's really take it to that next level. And you do that real simple. You do that by having a business plan, making sure that everyone's on the same page and you have some specific goals. You put together a great committee of committed, connected people that are excited about helping you reach those goals. You find a great golf course, a killer golf course that people get excited to participate in. You sell sponsors, but give them a return on investment. They'll give you more money if you get them some business. You fill your field with golfers by getting people, who are connected, inviting their friends. You give out lots of gifts and prizes that try to make everybody a winner, so they'll come back next year. You pick the right format. You have an award ceremony that people will remember you by, and you make a lot of extra money. So I can promise you, if you follow these 18 steps, you will have the best golf tournament possible. We have a lot more tips on our website, gtaaweb.org, if you want more in-depth articles on every topic that you can imagine. We have a YouTube channel with additional videos in depth called the Golf Tournament Channel on YouTube. Hosted by the GTAA, and we're here to help you. Our services are, for the most part, free. Our newsletters, our videos, everything's at no charge because we want to help you produce the best golf tournament possible. And if you do that, it's a win-win for everybody. So I really appreciate you tuning in. I really appreciate you being a part of it. This will be recorded. We're going to send out the recording to you, and you can share that with your committees and all the people involved. But we look forward to serving you. Please feel free to write me any question, anytime next year, and we would love to help you in the future. So we look forward to seeing you and seeing the success of your golf tournament. This is Phil Immordino signing off. Thanks for joining us.